Shall we go ahead and start?
Yes.
Right. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Welcome back to DC Life, the voice that reminds you that we care, we share, and we're on air. This is the Grammatist show, the show that sharpens your language skills for the corporate world. I'm Monishree. It's Monday again, so let's start off with mastering the professional English. Today, we are going to start off with the letter M, the powerhouse of letters, which helps you in driving management, metrics, motivation, momentum, and also mastery. So we're going to start off with a few short essentials that we use in our daily life, up to a few corporate terminologies that are sophisticated that are used a lot during the management decisions, during meetings, memos, and strategy sessions. So let's start with our short M words first. The first word we have is the word me, spelled M-E, which is the pronoun for myself, for oneself. So when I say me, I'm talking about this one person that they're talking about themselves. The next word is my, which is a possessive pronoun. So when I'm saying something belongs to me, then we will use my. That is my file, my dashboard, my data, my report. Okay. The next word we have for today is man, which in generic refers for a person during the language. So when you say every man, they usually refer to every person in the team. But in actual meaning, man refers to an adult male person. So, for example, when someone says every man in the team has contributed to this, they refer to every member in the team. The next is map. Map is a visual representation of either a plan or an area. For example, you will hear people saying the roadmaps for our product launch or the roadmap for our learning plan. This simply talks about a visual representation of how the plan works, how the entire learning is going to be, or how the product line is going to be. The next word we have for today is max. Max is an abbreviation or short form for the word maximum. So when someone says push this to the max capacity, tell me what is the max value we can do. They're talking about the maximum or the highest value. The next word we have for today is mix, which means to combine something together. So, for example, we can say a mixed data with a storytelling is very important for impact, or a mix of different cultures can help us improve our personal character. The next word we have for today is mop, spelled M-O-P. This, in literal terms, mop is a cleaning tool, something that is used for cleaning. But in corporate terms, when you use the word mop, it means you're trying to clean up something. For example, you can say mop up the duplicate data on the Excel file. It means we're trying to clean up the duplicate data on the file. The next word is mum. Mum is a British way of saying mother, but people also use it sometimes to talk about silence when they're asking you to keep silent. So instead of saying keep silent, people will say keep mum. All right, those are a few short words. Now we'll go for a few four-letter words. Let's start with the letter M, which are a very important part in the corporate conversations on a daily basis. The first word is make, which means to create something or to produce something. For example, you can say make time for learning every week or make time for reporting every day. The next word is main, something that is the most important part of anything. So, for example, when you say the main KPI is quality, it means you think the most important of all the KPIs is quality. Our next four-letter word is mark. Mark is either a endpoint, a target, or a milestone that someone is trying to achieve. So, you might have heard the phrase hit the mark. It means we have achieved the target. Our next four-letter word for today is mass, which is spelled M-A-S-S. It simply means something in a large quantity. So when we say we have mass hiring, for example, it means we're hiring in a very big number. Or when we say there was a mass adaptation to AI tools, that means a big number, a very large quantity of people adapted to the AI changes. Our next four-letter word for today is mean. Mean, when you take the terms in math, means average. So when I'm talking about what is the mean of a certain number, if we talk about the average of all the numbers, But in general English, mean means to intend. When you're trying to intend something, when you're trying to explain something, then you say the word mean. So, for example, we can say, okay, what do you mean by uh, this report? What do you mean by this word? So, we're trying to ask them what is their intention of using that word or the intention of sharing that report. The next four-letter word we have is meet. Meet simply means to come together. So we have a lot of ways we can use the word meet. For example, the Google Meet that we have or the face-to-face meeting that we have. The next four-letter word is mend. Mend means to repair something, to bond something together. So when someone says, let's mend the team relationships, for example, it means they're trying to increase or improve the bonding within the team relationship. Our next four-letter word for today is mere, spelled M-E-R-E. Mere is a replacement for the word only in English. So instead of using only, people start using mere nowadays. So if I want to say it is only a 5% improvement, instead of that I can say it is a mere 5% improvement. Our next word for today is miss. It means failing to hit something. For example, if you say don't miss the target for this week, that means saying don't forget or don't fail to hit the target. All right, those are a few four-letter words. Now let's move on to a few five-letter words in English. We'll start off with major. Major means something that is very important. Again, similar. But it can also mean a large scale, something that is happening in a very big scale. So, for example, when we say major clients drive around 80% of our revenue, we're talking about all the most important clients that we have. Our next five-letter word is match. It means either to correspond something or to compete with something. So, for example, when we say let's match our competitors' pricing, we're trying to talk about matching with their price by competing with it, trying to compete with their price. The next word we have for today is maybe. When you're not sure of something, you're doubtful about it. It can be possible, but you're not 100% sure. Then you will use the word maybe. For example, I can say maybe we can try launching a new product by June. So I'm not 100% sure if we launch. Maybe we will do it. The next word we have for today is merit. Merit means worthiness. So, for example, when I say the promotion is based on merit, it talks about are you matching all the requirements to achieve the promotion. That worthiness is called as merit. The next word we have for today is munch. Munch is to eat something. When you're trying to chew on something, that is called munching. But in the corporate world, people will also call their break time, the short breaks that they take, as a munch. So when someone says, I just went for a quick munch before my meeting, it means he just took a short break and came back. The next word we have for today is mirth. Mirth is spelled M-I-R-T-H, which is a synonym for amusement. So when you're amused with something, when you're really happy with something, when you're really cheerful about something, then you will use the word mirth. So, for example, I can say mirth builds stronger team bonds. All right. The next word we have is mound. Mound refers to piling up something. When you pile up something too much or you accumulate something too much, that is called a mound. For example, when you have too many emails pending to be responded, we can call that as an email mound. The next word is moral. Moral is either a lesson or a principle that you're trying to follow. For example, you can say, my moral is I always deliver what I promise. So that is the principle I follow. Okay, those were a few five-letter words. Now moving on to a few bigger words. The first one being manage. Manage means to handle something, to control something. For example, you can say, let's manage our expectations through our weekly updates calls. The next word we have is market. Market means a place of commerce. So wherever you're trying to do the business in, that place becomes your market. For example, we can say our markets. are all the clients who expect additional services for the projects. The next word is master. Master is when you're becoming an expert, when you're entering the expert level of something. For example, you can say you need to master communication well to be part of the corporate world now. Our next word is matrix. Matrix simply means a structure. So when you're part of a structure, that is called as a matrix. For example, our HR matrix clarifies our responsibilities as an employee in office. The next word is mentor. Mentor is someone who is experienced and they guide you. So they may not be your manager, they may not be your reporting team lead, but they are an experienced advisor who guides you wherever you are. So every leader needs to be a mentor for their associates. The next word is method. Method is an organized way of doing something. So for example, we can say our induction method makes sure that employee onboarding is very smooth. Our next word is motion. Motion is a movement towards a goal, making some kind of movement towards achieving a goal. That is called as motion. So for example, we need to say keep the projects in motion to achieve the targets on time. So we need to keep moving to achieve the target on time. Okay, now let's go through a few corporate essential words. The first is management. Management is the administration of the entire business. So, for example, when I say the middle management, which is the vision of the top management and the execution with the employees, we're talking about the administration that happens. The next M word is motivation, which is a drive, a, a boost, a support to act on something. For example, we can say intrinsic motivation outlasts any other bonuses. So internal motivation from a managers will outlast any other kind of support or bonuses from them. The next word is milestone. Milestone is a very important project stage. It may not be the end target, but if you have achieved a very important stage in the target, that is called as a milestone. So for example, you can say the first milestone for the project testing is starting next week, or we have achieved a first milestone in targets in the last week. The next M word is momentum. Momentum is a force of progress. So when someone says, let's build a momentum, it means they're trying to push for a progress, a very quick progress, and they're motivating you towards it. The next is mandate. Mandate is an official order that we have to follow. For example, our HR mandate is that we need to follow our dress code professionally every day. The next is mindset. Mindset is simply the mental attitude that we have towards something. For example, you can say a growth mindset will always embrace challenges. So if you have a growth mindset or mental attitude towards growth, you will always embrace challenges. Our next word for today is mission, which means the core purpose of something. So, for example, if I say our mission is to make sure that we achieve our daily targets, means that is the core purpose that we're working on. Our next word for today is morale. Morale is spelled M-O-R-A-L-E. This is slightly different from moral, which we learned earlier as lesson. Morale means the team spirit that we have, the energy that your team has. For example, you can say recognition boosts the morale of employees very easily. So it boosts the team spirit. Okay, so those were a few important magnificent letter M. The letter M stands for management, metrics, motivation, and momentum. Here is another challenge for you guys this week. Let's work on motivating at least one of our colleagues with a specific price of whatever they have done. Thank you for tuning in to Grammatist on DC Live, where we care, we share, and we are on air. I'll see you next Monday at 5:30 p.m. again to help you master your professional English magnificently. Thank you, everyone.